It's episode 3 in Transport Fever 2 Goes Tropical with me, Colonel Failure, and you're here watching it now on the internet. Yeah, good. So in previous episodes we built some stuff. It was quite expensive to build. It is making I would say modest return on investment, but that wouldn't be true. It's making a just slightly less than modest return on investment at the moment because everything is very expensive to run. So in amongst sitting around and waiting for some cash to build up, I'm going to tell you a little story, or just generally pontificate in your face box for about 20 minutes. Have fun with that, won't you? So I've made a couple of tweaks here and there, and I've kept the game locked to September 28th, 1850. Because I wanted to make sure that all these new lines that I'd built actually had a chance to bed in and get tweaked a bit before we next had a look at it. And you end up with sites like this once in a while. I mean, don't get me wrong, that's quite a lot of smoke happening there. It makes you really appreciate the smoke reduction mod from Transport Fever 1, but I'm sure some kind of equivalent will be along before too long. Anyway, yes, we're in a profitable situation, but only just about. I'm not quite making enough to be able to replace the vehicles I've got. As you can see, there you go. It's topped us over 500 grand there. Let's repay that while we chat. So I've repaid 2 million. Well, $1.5 million. I borrowed another $500,000 to reconfigure this train. Basically, I dropped a couple of the corn hoppers off the back and added some more wagons instead. That way we get better throughput of food down to the other end. The downside, of course, now the American train is the more powerful of the two that are currently in a drag race here. This is some Colonel Can of your dreams. And while the Russian is currently running empty, even then, you know, you would expect the more powerful and faster American train to be pulling into the lead. It's just not the case. So yeah, we're now carrying 49 food back in the other direction versus an empty set of hoppers. So there you go. Weight does play a big factor at this stage of the game. I cannot risk making this thing any slower, or sorry, any less packed with cargo, because so many different things are reliant on it. Right, let's get this back up to full speed, because it's high time we started looking at replacing some vehicles. I've already had all of the warnings for my initial batch of freight trucks, and yeah, I haven't replaced those yet. I've basically packed out a few more lines with a few more vehicles. Well, no, not a few more lines. I've packed out a few lines with a few vehicles. Yes, that's the thing that's happened, and the aim is going to be to continue to drive in a kind of profitable direction. If we look at the overall profit each line is making, you'll see the only one that's coming up short, and even then it won't be for very long, is the food delivery to Zion. I do have that now waiting until full at the mega city end, and that kind of works. It doesn't seem to have affected any kind of slowdown or anything along those lines. The food hub transfer, we're not quite there yet. We're almost there in terms of turning it into genuine profitability. As you can see, it's got 17 of 20 on board right now. Where's my train gone? Let's at least go follow it. Where's the vehicle? Here you go. Yeah, this one. Yeah, follow. We might as well keep it company on its long, arduous voyage. Yes, even running half full, this train does manage to generate some level of profit. And the knock-on there is that I've needed to buy a few more wagons to go on the delivery route to Caprica, and it's all paying off. The running cost for individual stations and depots and all of the infrastructure takes its toll, so even though overall I am running a fairly decent profit. If you look at railroad, for example, we brought in 1.2 million last year, which is nice, and then gave half of it back again straight away to maintain the vehicles. These things happen. But then another 100,000 was sunk into, 110,000 was sunk into maintaining the tracks and the stations. So you can't go wild. And that is going to be particularly important when you think about things like double tracking. If you double track up everywhere, you are doubling the cost of that bit of track. The clue's in the title, friends. That's one of the things that occurs. But as you can see from this train, it is not long for this world before it starts costing me an arm and a leg to run. So I need to start raking in the cash or thinking about, well, what's our next thrilling move here? Honestly, I don't have an answer to that at the moment. When we come round to replacing this train, I want something that is either faster or more powerful, or we can just carry more wagons. A better locomotive. That's what we're after, that can turn this around quicker, because that's the thing that's slowing us down more than anything else at present. Now then, what are we going to do today? So, I've got a couple of minor projects going on, and we're going to need to wait for this to arrive to actually have some cash. But that's okay. There are two potential projects that we could play with here. Well, I say two. There's one, or we could do a couple of cheapies. The one is probably about $1.5 million worth of investment, and we run a truck line out to the coast. We put a cargo port on the coast here because New Vegas also wants food, which is flipping helpful. I'm not gonna lie, that's ridiculously helpful. I'm not sure how I ended up with so many food-requiring cities in such a short area, but there it is. I suspect that the random generation is in part based on the locale, because all three of these, and never mind, I was wrong. That's a completely false supposition there. But over here in Sandy Island is New Vegas, which also requires food. Now, it delivers, it's got its own. This was originally called Pyongyang, obviously. Originally, this was, no, it was Pyongyang. You've just said that. So now say something else. Okay. We could deliver food out here. Very good. But it also has oil. And with the city there as well, you know, there is the potential to hook this up as a city for mass transit, so we could run passengers out this way, move them on. But an oil line from here towards wherever it is we decide to do the refining. Now, we've already discussed the Caprica oil refinery potential complex here. So we do our refining down there at the Busan oil refinery before coming back and turning it into plastic at the Osaka chemical factory. I think some of the original town names may be leaking through. There's obviously, I mean, there's easier runs that can be made, but as ever, you know, time plus profit, there is, you know, the distance makes a difference to how much cash you're going to make. On which note, in we come. Let's see how much this run is actually worth with 49. No, grab the train. Thank you. So we were 119 in the hole, and that's put us 393 up. So, I mean, that's the best part of $500,000 for that particular food route there. And that then gets split three ways. So we have two lines delivering here, and then the third is on the station right here. So we've only got 12 waiting, which is a bit disappointing. But a slow old train is part of the problem. In fact, I am going to maintain this vehicle a little bit more expensively. Configure maintenance. Let's increase the running costs. Don't want to, but it might make it go a little bit faster. Because as the train ages, it loses some of its pep. Unless you're prepared to pay for it. And I am prepared to pay for it, so I've paid for it. Right, I should do something, I guess. The other thing I was thinking of doing is the Alpha Complex commuter route, possibly replacing that with trams. Now, we can do that cheaply. So I see that as probably a good idea. Although, saying that, New Arbat Avenue is currently empty. And I think part of the reason that it is currently empty is because of the number of vehicles I am running on this system. So if we look at the Mega City 1 commuter thingamajig, good, you'll find it. It's in there. No, wait, I will find it. Yeah, look, there are. Go on. Right, yeah, you'll see. Bunch of vehicles on there now. Now, we could replace that with half as many trams, which will be faster and potentially more profitable. Not potentially. What are you doing? Get to work. Why are you stopped? Come on, you're full up. Tell them to all aboard and what have you. I mean, there is, you know, if you look at this one, demand is there. So we're, there's plenty of traction to be had. But, that's replacing something that's profitable with something that's probably going to be as profitable, maybe a squeak more. So I might leave that alone and instead make an investment into Caprica, which we're allowed to do. And there's two investments we can make here. Firstly, we'll put a commuter station in here and then hook it up to its next door neighbour of Ankh-Morpork. Yeah, you see, I think there's some merit in that. So let's get to work. Let's do it fairly quickly before we run out of cash. Just FYI. Because the running costs here they're not cheap. I'm going to up the tempo. Let's go to 4 times. Just so that some new vehicles pop up, and then I'll slow it right back down again. I think I've probably been hung in 1850 for long enough that it's probably about 1855 anyway. But it's a good system for ensuring that technological advances don't catch you on the hop. Right, okay, let's look down this end and just find a decent station for a bus stop. Do we want to do an extensive bus stop? No, I think we just go with a cheap one. So while the towns are still small, my goal is a straightforward one. Let's try and capture a bit of industry, a bit of commerce, and a bit of residential. So there you go. That should do the trick pretty easily, actually. Right, go from north Zhongzhou Road. That's a curious name for Ankh-Morpork. Although saying that, it's not actually that unusual. Anything could be called anything in the world of Pratchett, so let's not rule it out. Now, I need a bus stop, and I suppose that's as good a place as any. I don't know how that's going to pan out. Actually, what would be a smart move here would be to complete this road. I'm about to run out of cash. I've run out of cash. All right, so make a withdrawal. There you go. Thank you. Right, so if we then fling road, yes, road. Yeah. Still getting used to the icons. Still some learning curve to go through there. So potentially what we'll get is the bus comes out, goes round, and then heads back out again. That would be the smart thing to do rather than turning around. And, we'll wait and see, shall we? Anyway, there you go. Look at that, it's done it. What a special thing. Has it done it this end as well? No, this end is pulled a Yui in the street. Never mind. It's not the end of the world. Right, so this is a commuter, from CPR, to, what's that, Ankh-Morpork. Right, there we go. And I think if we stick, 3 vehicles? 4? Well, 3 is enough to get it rolling. 4, you could probably support 4 without any problem at all. How much cash you got? 400k. Let's go with this terrible horse-drawn carriage. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can go on that one. And basically by running those, you're going to end up with another line that's generating, I don't know, about 10 grand, let's say, per year. And therefore, it all adds towards the greater good. That's not a big contribution, but it all helps. Right, I've got $1.5 million left in the bank. Now that is not, it's going to be close to, but not quite enough to support a freight line here that has food on board, so a shipping line. Until I can get trains like this one, for example, moving a bit faster, because it's not. Moving a bit faster with a bit more on board, we're not going to have enough food being produced to make that worthwhile. So instead, let's look for another network expansion. Now, this one is not going to be able to be a train, so we're looking for a fairly short one. It looks like Erie is probably my best bet. It looks like Erie might be my only bet. Although you've got Dark City as well, possibly coming out of District 12, wending round the mountain. But frankly, I want to run through the mountain and do some kind of really clever train station in there. It doesn't mean I have to do that as the opening gambit, but it would be quite good to have that as the opening gambit, wouldn't it? Right, okay, I think we go with Route 1 here. I don't know why I've gone a little bit West Country, but apparently I have. Right. Let's run this street just a smidge further. Right, and then we'll crunchy road up to the next joint. Let's go. Cheap country road, please. And what can you do me? Flipping it, 300 and how much? All right, okay. Well, in that case, we won't go as the crow flies. We'll try and do a little bit at a time and maybe keep that just a smidge cheaper. Although, you know, it's not that cheap. Tell you what, infrastructure is ruddy expensive. There you go. Well, we saved quite a bit on that, so that's there. That'll do. And this is, I mean, again, this is only another 20 grand route that we're bunging in here. It is not easy, or it's not as easy to make hellishly large amounts of profit early on anymore. You have to keep your wits about you, which is largely why I started out with a freight route anyway, because that is actually still a decent way to make money, and it's more robust. The only real downside is that everything moves so flipping slowly. You have to wait for it to get the job done. Now then, another depot? Well, you're going to have to pay for it and pay for it. Yeah, I know. But what are you going to do? Right, fling that in there. Let's create a new line. And this one is going to, that's Chongwan Road there, up to the tram depot of City 17 Central. Could not connect all stations. Really? You sure about that? I'm pretty sure you can. Pretty sure. Is it because this likes the trams there? What if I were to tell you to go onto Terminal 2? No, can't be done. All right, have I missed a bit of road? Yes. That would explain it. Yeah, okay. Well, I don't know how I missed a bit of road. I thought it's... I don't know, what angle was that? Maybe something like that. Well, whatever. Yeah, no, you're not. You are going to allow it. Well, I'm surprised, because normally you would go, no, you're way too close together. Have another swing at that in a moment. But apparently, not so much. And the money is getting tighter. Right, route manager back up again. So this is City 17. So commuter. Yeah, I know it is. C17 down to whatever that one was called. It had a name, and that name was Erie. Oh, jolly good. All right, fine. Yeah, good. Yeah, so yeah, okay. Erie. No, commuter. C17 Erie. Right. There we go. Right, and then I'll basically fling we could probably run 6 on there from the get-go, but I think we'll start with 4 and then up it later on. I don't know why 4 feels like my security blanket number at the moment, but hey, whatever gets the job done, we'll take it. There we go. Right, now, that should... All of this, of course, is in service of gently pushing us towards a profitable situation so that we can look for the next big capital investment. A passenger train is already viable, but we're talking a line that runs, I don't know, I guess Mega City 1 to City 17 and then one more stop, which is probably going to be Erie at this point. And how much do you think that's going to cost? I think I'll be lucky to see change from $1.5 million, because I'll be bulldozing a bit of the town. I don't want to build the town up only to have to bulldoze it later. I'd rather get it done now. If you're looking at passenger stations, then, I mean, where do you want it? Well, I mean, is this going to be running an east-west? Hold on, which way's north? That way's north, right? So are we going to be running a north-southy kind of a route? Yeah, possibly. Or an east-westy kind of a route. Well, there's nothing over to the east other than Vegas, but that could come in at a port here and then get shuttled in. And west finishes at Ankh-Morpork, so I don't think that's it. I think we are running a north-south, so you're going to want your main station probably in this expensive bit. Or just the other side of the road. Maybe. Or you go out over here. Now, that's not as convenient for travel that way, but It means that we're already right next to the bus station, which has, you know, it's done a good job in establishing its authority, nay, dominance, and therefore, you know, why wouldn't you? Right. Okay, now, we've got these two that have just started out. Are you packing? You're not. Okay, turn around then, because there's passengers back here, possibly. There aren't passengers back there, but by the time you get there, someone might have gone, you know where I want to go? No, where is that, Daisy? Where do you want to go? I long, achingly, to go to Zion, or Erie, and back again, twice. Well, we can make that happen with magic. Yeah, well, who knows? Now, I could also connect Caprica to, I don't know, something. But, I mean, again, Erie's the good one. A nice, exciting tunnel there. That'd be good fun. City 17, that's another chunk of change spent on road building. Or you've got City 17 to Zion. That's another chunk of change spent on route building. Hold on. Hold your ruddy horses here a moment. Zion is right on the coast. So a passenger port here. This could be our next move, you know. Passenger port 2, Waterdeep. Right? It's short enough that we can complete the journey quite quickly, so the money keeps rolling. But that will then give us Waterdeep, which we can connect the rest of that island to. Everything is requiring bread. Show me my cities. All right, here's the city list. Yep, yeah, good, thank you. Right, let's show me the cargoes. Right, so we've got Yonder Tools, we've got Yonder Bread. Actually, Yonder Bread is very well represented. And then Yonder Goods. Oh, I don't think it's actually that. No, it's not that dissimilar to the others. It's obviously the largest group, but it is not that dissimilar to the others. So what I need to be thinking longer term is, right, where are you distributing bread from? From where are you distributing bread? And I suspect it's here. Well, yes. No, is it? I don't think that's the best place for it. Again, I think that a goods hub right here at Caprica, that gets you 3 there. It's close enough to Mega City 1 that we can run trains up there. Meanwhile, we're going to be running trains from both MC1 and this kind of, the Quaison City farm up to go and get that turned into food. Fabulous. Which we can then run down a nice big spinal line here to reach the hub, where we can distribute by ship quite easily. Yeah, I'm liking the sound of this, actually. And hit all 5 of these. Oh, flipping heck, that's going to make money like no tomorrow. As soon as you've got a train that can pay it. Actually, Zion's within reach as well. And you've got Erie, which will take some more. You've got these 2 clowns that will take a bit more. That is a gold mine. If we needed more raw materials, we've got 2 more farms here that aren't outside the realm of possibility. Yeah, this is the place to be. This is the food belt, which is usually something you loosen after having too much of the aforementioned. Right, there we go. That's the theory. Now we just need the cash to make it a reality. We've not actually had any more vehicles come. It's 1855 now. I'd like to slow it down, but I'll slow it down as soon as we get the pop of whatever is going to be next available. Let's have a quick look at the accounting situation. What have we done here? So 2 years ago, 1850, we finished up 432. Okay. Last year we lost 90. Why did we lose 90? Did I make an investment? Yeah, you invested 190. Well, even then your revenues are down. Yeah, it looks like 1 extra train delivery in the previous year. Okay, fine. And then this year we're currently down 171, but I have invested 300. Okay, that's not unreasonable. And we should be due at least 1 more train delivery before the end of the year. One would hope. Although saying that, this is the accounting period 1853 to 56. Because, of course, we're running at 4 times speed, so it wraps 4 years together for the accounting period. This is also a good thing because it means you don't pay 4 times as much interest on your bank account, which is something I quite enjoy not doing, is paying interest on my bank account. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for this time. Slow on progress, but I think we have a scheme now. The question is, what to do first? The food line's working out just dandy, although there's a major expense coming in the replacement of the train. I think the next move is going to be a passenger route from probably Caprica out to Waterdeep. Nice bit of island slalom going on in there. I've been Colonel Failure. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to keep up with the series. It will be advancing at quite a pace. And if you enjoyed this video, hurl a like at it. And you can do that by hurling your face at your keyboard or mouse or telephone while the pointy thing is hovering over the thumbs up button. And then when the collision between your body part and the technological advice occurs, a like will be issued. Why should you do this? It's encouragement, isn't it? Makes me go, oh, I feel validated. And it's an incredibly old reference, but it made me feel like Sally Field at the Oscars. There you go. I'm Sally Field. I'll catch you next time. Cheerio. Did you know I don't just make videos here on YouTube? I also sell t-shirts. That's tenuous. And other merchandise with which you can treat yourself. Lest you treat... Yeah, they're things that you can buy with cash money, and they are the perfect gift for anybody who needs a gift that you're not particularly fond of, and or yourself. If you're feeling particularly glum, then sporting a piece of Colonel Failure merchandise is sure to make you feel indifferent. You can go and pick some up now. Well, I say pick it up. You can look at it on the internet and then go, yeah, all right, and fish out your credit card details and pay for it with money. And you can do that by visiting colonelfailure.com. It's not actually there. That just redirects you to where the store is. But it's easy for me to say that, and there's a vague chance that you'll actually remember it later when you decide I really need some Colonel Failure merchandise, or I don't know. Let's see. My loving life partner has failed me for the last time. They need a get back to work poster. Yeah, see, yeah, and then you should do that now. As quickly as possible is the ideal. There's even a voucher code available. Right? Ready? Memorize this or write it down. The voucher code is Colonel Failure. There's a 30% off Black Friday kind of a thing happening if you're watching this anywhere near Black Friday. After that, I think there's still something that it does. If it doesn't work, then well, you're no worse off, are you? But if it does work, then you've spent some money, but not as much money as you would have otherwise spent. There you go. Compelling marketing for the future of people there. Buy stuff. It's good for you. Keeps the economy flowing. Keeps me in sweeties. And that's what I'm here for.